Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your host, Castaball Marquise, back with another story. And actually, this story will give you a little bit of insight on who I used to be, how I came up, and how a community came together for a very common cause that just so happened to have been a very, very bad tragedy. So, I'm gonna jump right on into the story. Please, everybody, please subscribe. I got a deal going on right now that I gotta make my way to 1,000 subscribers. But every 100th subscriber, I'm gonna, post your name, give you a shout out in the video, and I'm gonna cash app you or Venmo, Zelle, however you want your money. I'm gonna send you $100. So the 100th person, who subscribes, that's 100. The next person, who's the 200th person, I'm gonna send you 100. Like, I'm giving out money here, And to the 1,000th person, or the person who has been here on this channel, like, commenting, and subscribe, because I can see all of this. Whoever that person is, I'm going to give you $1,000 cash. Boom. All right. So, on to the story. Okay. So, this involves my homegirl, life friend, Danielle. Now, Danielle lived directly across the street from me. She lived with her dad. Her mom was, a drunk, and who just was like, you know what, motherhood ain't me. And was like two fingers, left her and her dad basically by herself. But the funny thing about it, the common interest about the mom and the dad is they were both alcoholics. Now, the dad, he was a functional alcoholic, but when he gets drunk, he gets very emotional. He, like, literally will start crying like a baby, and, he just becomes like this teddy bear person. I'm so sorry. Why to give me a hug, man? I would never. I'm so sorry. And it's just crazy. So a lot of emotional things that are like traumatic and everything, he just can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Or it just breaks him down, and he's just, whatever. Now, Danielle, who was of the lighter complexion, ain't nothing wrong with that, because I got a lot of people in my, friend group that I grew up with, and we are still friends to this day, of all different complexions. You know what I mean? She was different than most of the girls in my neighborhood who was of the lighter complexion, because she, was like, this is me, this is who I am, and either you accept it or reject it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm no fool, I'm not trying to convert over and do things that are, not of me or this or that. Like, this is just who I am, you know what I mean? And, so, i.e., she wasn't hood or ratchet or, ghetto at all, you know what I mean? She was what you would call a lighter complexion girl, if you understand what lighter complexion means. That is the same color of this shirt, minus the blue light. So this shirt, because I'm trying not to get booted off of YouTube. But anyway, whatever. So, that was our homegirl growing up. Everything was cool. And then, all of a sudden, our neighborhood started to kind of like, because of the kids in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, us, our young, mannish, crazy, going through emotional, traumatized lives, we started basically splitting the neighborhood into two. There was the east side, which I was from, where, basically you had all the girls, and you had the west side, and that was, had a lot of dudes, but no girls, and it just became ratchet, and that's just like Biggie and Tupac and everything else. That started the east side, west side wars within our neighborhood. Now, our neighborhood as a whole, though, was kind of an affiliate of another set, to a point that unless we're in the neighborhood warring against each other, we would, be an affiliate of this set named D Road. Reason why it was D as in the letter D, Road. Reason being is because we are literally not even 1 mile away from D Road. Just like a lot of sets who are either off D Road or they're on D Road. They're different neighborhoods. Okay, so cue the music to the story. One day, we chilling. Okay, it's a normal day, and Danielle's out there with the rest of the girls. Like I said in the previous video, they walk in they circle, we walk in our counter circle. Everything's going good, right? Danielle's dad, he's working somewhere, you know what I mean? But, he trusted Danielle being outside. Because our neighborhood wasn't bad, you know what I mean? They ain't like crackheads, this, that, and the third. It was just, we just knew who the driving white van type vibes person was in the neighborhood and to stay away from them. You know what I'm saying? We looked out for each other. So, it's a normal day, and we went to go kick it at the park, and one of our friends who was from D Road, he's there with this dude who he calls his cousin. We are going to name this person in this video because, the nature of this video and the tragedy of what happened, we're going to name this person Billa. Okay? So if I'm talking about Billa, we're talking about this person who is our homeboy. We're going to name that homeboy Scotty. That's Scotty's cousin, or at least that's how it was introduced. Because when we asked Scotty, hey, who's this? He was like, oh, that's cuz. Okay? Now, they're not Loke or anything else, so you eventually would assume that he's saying this is his family member. Okay, cue the music, let's go. Now, we don't really know dude. He seemed alright, didn't cause any problems. He wasn't rude, he wasn't obnoxious, everything. We at the park, we having a good time, no problems, right? He was walking around the neighborhood with us, talking to the girls, everything else. No problems. So that one weekend happens, everything's fine. The next, 2, maybe 3 weeks go by, we don't see him, then, we see him again. But this time, he's not with Scott. He's just over here by himself. But because of Scott, we know him as Scott's cousin. So he cool, because we cool with Scott. That's just how it is. Okay, no problems. But this week, he walks by, and the girls, they're not really out that week for some strange apparent reason. Everybody was kind of like doing their own thing at their house. And he finds out that Danielle is outside on the phone on, her porch. You know what I mean? She's talking on the good old cordless phone. Phone bone years, y'all. And, she's talking, to the other girls and everything else. And Billa just finds out this, and, he's like, what's up? Ooh, ooh, ooh. He trying to, holler at her, but, of course, it's just not going. She just really just not feeling him. You know what I mean? She even told me afterwards when I hollered at her, because this is my neighbor. Of course, I'm going to talk to my neighbor a lot. She was just he just give, weird vibes or whatever. Well, of course, she didn't say vibes, but in those days, we used to he's a little bit of a weirdo. There's something peculiar about him. Okay. Then we don't see him for a couple of weeks, okay? When I did run into him in another, setting, I even asked him, what's up with you? And, Danielle, he was like, oh, is that your girl or something? I'm like, nah, that's just my neighbor, but, she a homegirl, what's up with that? He was like, oh, nah, everything good, it's no problems. Okay, So I did my due diligence, at least so I thought. So I didn't think nothing of it. Told the other homies about it, to be on point about it. They didn't think nothing of it. So I'll never forget this Saturday because I was going to Blockbuster. Yeah, this is that long ago, y'all. Blockbuster Video. If you 30 plus years old, you know. I was going to Blockbuster to take back a Red movie, which was the movies that literally you rented and had to return and rewind and everything before they charged you extra fees 24 hours after you rented. I was going to Blockbuster that morning to return the video, and it was like kind of drizzling that day. And I had been walking on foot, and I saw old boy, Billa. I had saw him walking towards, my house and, Danielle's house. But there was no, I didn't put two and two together. He just walking by himself in the neighborhood. So, I saw him. I was like, oh, what's up? He was like, yeah, what's going on? He was like, man, where you going? I'm like, man, I'm going to Blockbuster to return these videos. I'll be right back. You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll catch you later. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably be at the park. I was like, all right, cool, back. It's kind of drizzling, so I ain't really trying to, I'm trying to beat this rain. That's the only thing that's on my mind. Okay, cool. So we walking. I go return the videos, everything else. I run into my other homeboy. Now, this homeboy, I can name him. His name is AJ. I run into AJ, and I'm like, yo, what's good, AJ? He's like, everything good. I'm about to, I'm about to go to the store because, this one chick that, knew his big sister, she worked at the store, and she let him get, Black and Miles. You know what I'm saying? Basically, at those times, like a Black and Miles was like 65 cents or whatever. So, that was, his thing. Yeah, we young and smoking, y'all. Black and Miles at that. We even know how to, bring them back to life, as we like to call it. We done took the cancer stick out and take all the tobacco out, everything. I mean, it was crazy. We tried everything, okay, with those Black and Miles. So it was crazy. But anyway, back to the story. So he walking with me at the crib, and we notice as we get into my house, because I'm not even going home, I'm going past the house. We look over at Danielle's house, and Danielle's front door is wide open. Wide open. So he kind of stopped me because he noticed it first. He was like, hey, bro, what's going on with Danielle's, door? I'm like, man, that's crazy. So, we walk into the yard. We like, hey, Danielle. We don't hear nothing. Kind of creep in the house. Because, I've been in Danielle's house before. And we hear, water running. And, muffling noises. So we thinking either somebody in here or what, we don't know what's going on. But as we get to the back of her trailer, we see blood on the floor. The kitchen is messed up. We get to the master bedroom, which is her dad's room. Danielle was bleeding from the middle of her body. Her face was bruised. It was like she was in a trance. She was trying to clean herself up. I think this moment in my life was so impactful and traumatizing for everybody involved, but especially me, because this is when I think I really put two and two together of, as far as I can vividly remember, pinpoint a moment where anger, sadness, and rage all possess me all at one time. So they say in psychology that anger is a secondary emotion, right? Well, that really when you're angry, you're sad. And if you don't check it, that anger can turn into rage. Well, that's what happened. Of course, we call the police. We call, the police called her dad, everything else. They, did a R word kid on her, all this other stuff. But she was like unresponsive. Like, we don't know what happened. Me at the time, who was like the leader, well, one of the leaders of the East Side, we was like, we calling a big meeting at the park right now. We got everybody from the East Side together. Now, my homeboy, the one that got the black, we ain't even lit the black up yet. He's just, like, he is ready to go right now. But we like, look, we don't know what's going on, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. We got to figure it out. So that night, we don't find out anything. Okay, that's Saturday. But everybody on the East Side knows. And then, because everybody on the East Side knows as far as the guys, now the girls know. And some of the girls mess with the guys on the West Side. So, it now becomes from an East Side, a Danielle problem, to an East Side problem, to the whole neighborhood problem. Like an instant truce the next day was called. It's Saturday. Now everybody's involved. We got East Side, we got West Side, all at the park, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, who did what, everything else. Now, what one of the girls was able to find out, you know what I'm saying, who had a specific message to tell me, of all people, what was going on, is she told the girl to tell me that Billa did it. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't even had told her dad or the police anything else, and because that was our code. Like, we never talk to police no matter what. We take care of our own. So when that happened, it was like, it was on and popping. I went and got a black, hold this meeting, and it was like all the war chiefs of the neighborhood. We was like, we gonna find Billa ASAP. We gonna find him before the police do. Like, they might be looking for him, but we are looking for him. And, so we contacted Scott. Scott, come to find out, Scott is just saying that's his cousin, but that's really not his cousin. He really don't even know dude like that. His mom and Scott's mom, like, they work together, but they got, sons at the same time. So they kind of was like, oh, y'all go play type, situation for the majority of their lives. But he don't even know where dude from. The dude, Billa, we thinking he's from D Road, but he ain't even from D Road. Scott from D Road, but he's telling everybody I'm from D Road. You know what I'm saying? He's really from a whole nother other set, but we don't even know this yet. So it became a situation that created friction between us and D Road. We done called up all the people we know with cars and everything else. Now we are searching every single neighborhood. I'm talking about we like 5 people deep in each car. This a convoy of cars. We going like, when I say hood to hood, we going hood to hood. People hopping out, like, as soon as we get into the apartment complex, everything hopping out on foot. We looking, knocking on people's door. We know, hey, you seen such and such, woo, woo, woo. Like, we don't care. Which, was very disrespectful. But, we took it as resistance, like, oh, y'all trying to play us because we a little set. And we ain't a part of, this D Road set. But, like, who is y'all? Like, this is, y'all supposed to be a set or a clique or organization or gang, or, whether you Damu or, Loke. You supposed to, represent something in protection and everything else, but y'all ain't, So it just turned into a big situation. After that, nobody ever claimed D Road again. My homeboy, same one that got a black, we had to literally give him his own personal black. Like usually, we was young. When you got a black in my eye, somebody, we treating it like, we put it in rotation. With him, we just was like, look, dude, you like every 5 minutes he was coming up. Yo, I want him, B. I want him. Yo, we gonna do this for Danielle, B. She don't deserve that, B. Like he just, and we was just like, dude, just take the black, man. We got this, man. Just calm down, like. And it was for good reason, actually, because when Danielle finally got back from the hospital and everything else, he was one of the only dudes besides myself who could actually go over to Danielle's house. He went over there every single day. That turned into them becoming very, very close. They ended up dating all through high school. Because of that, he was so protective over her. She protective over him. And they ended up getting married. And from marriage, they have kids and everything now. That's just how their life is. So, something good did come out of that traumatizing experience, other than the fact that, people false claiming and everything else. The person known as Billa, though, took about 6, almost 8 months, but they did find him. And for federal purposes, I don't know what happened to that man. Nobody knows what happened to that man. But all I do know, and I know this for a fact, allegedly, ain't nobody ever seen him since. So, let that be a lesson to you. It's your boy, Casabal Marquise. I'm out. Peace.